Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with some of the colleagues here.
Dave.
Nate.
And today we've got another GM 911, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, from Krugdar. And
Krugdar of the Hill people.
See, I was going to say the Barbarian.
I was going to say Krogdar. Or that's Trogdor. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. So he's got a GM 911. You got this nice backdrop of this. Was it a lich that sacrificed?
No, not a lich. He didn't want to go the lich route. Okay, so he's got this
evil wizard.
He's got this archmage that runs a college of magic and has Eldritch Knight white enforcers in his campaign world, and basically now this band of warriors has sprung up, this faction that want to see this guy brought down and this magocracy put to an end.
Okay.
And so the way he prolonged his life is making sacrifices to demons, and he wants to know how to make a cinematic end battle with this guy, that the players and everyone is going to remember, and it's going to be meaningful.
All right. Well, my thing is if he doesn't want it to be a slogfest, and D&D is really designed for a. I have an attack. I do X amount of damage. You've got a hit point pool. Once I've depleted it, it's over. And it's I
totally don't agree with that. But
I mean the core mechanics.
Well, that's
the mechanics are there for a reason,
right?
To help you kind of like say what actually happened in reality.
Now the actual mechanics tell you that technically, that this hit point pool is actually supposed to represent, the defenses and the actual, wearing through, and that when you actually draw blood, that's when you drop them. Now every gaming group does things differently, and however you want to do it at your table is fine as long as everybody's happy with it. I mentioned this in probably a couple different videos, but a while back I ran a game where everything was done with just a D20, and I took out the logistics of combat, and if the players were going to fight something, whoever was kind of in control of the moment would roll a D20 based on that player's quote-unquote skill at whatever they were doing, and the result of the die determined what kind of success or failure would happen, and it was all just done descriptively. So you could wind up having that type of situation once you actually get to the combat. They could have regular combat up through, the point and go through some kind of battle with this mage and have the quote-unquote, being that he's supporting or some kind of magic creation that's, really the soul of this this mage be there and have a descriptive combat where in order to bring this thing down for the last time, you had brought up having, you've got to destroy these, crystals or pillars of power.
I've got a whole scene. I wrote this movie in my head.
So if you actually have them having almost like a chase sequence where there's things that...
Well, from 4th edition, almost like a skill challenge.
Right. So, like, with that, you have them, make rolls and describe what they're trying to do versus their objectives. And, you go along that lines, it's going to be much more cinematic and interesting. And if your players are really into it at that point in time, it's going to be much better than a simple, all right, I did 37 points of damage, what's next?
All right, so this is what I got going. All right, so there's this warrior group of people. Well, I say they, I would say that, lean them towards raising an army, because the Archmage could absolutely the whole entire magic tower could just obliterate a group of 6 or 7 people. It's absolutely unrealistic. They could be 20th level warriors, and then a tower of mages would just obliterate them. They'd be paste and vaporized dust. They'd be like, the mage would be like, I'm sorry, I've got to cast a spell so I don't breathe in this dust of these people that I just blew into nothingness. So
much disintegration.
So much disintegration. But so I would say you could raise this giant army, because that's the only way you're getting in, is have an entire
legion
distracting them, and basically getting blown up. So you've got the Archmage in his tower, and he's gonna.
Did you just say cannon fodder?
Yes.
I think I heard cannon fodder.
Yes, you heard cannon fodder. Sacrifices.
If they've got to strap gnomes to their shield to take some extra hits for them, then they gotta do it.
And if those gnomes then have to strap pixies to their shield,
Hopefully something with some magic resistance would be really helpful. So I'm going to say that there's the tower has actually got these giant crystal pillars. And the crystal pillars are the actual storing of either demon essence or the demon's favors that this Archmage gains. It's kind of like the power that's fueling his life force. So he's got these giant like crystal pillars in the central part of his tower. Well, he launches terrible death and destruction. So it's like a giant force that's actually threatening even to him. So he's actually in the fight, launching these terrible powers down on people. The warrior's job, the PC's job, is to get into the tower while all this, like, you can describe all these terrible things happening around them. But so it's like cinematic around them while they're like busting in through the guards or, you know, getting through some traps or whatever you really want to make the dungeon crawl to get to this guy. And then I would say that all you have to do is break all the crystal pillars. And you know that you need to break crystal pillars either due to some upstart mage who wants to get in. He wants to be part of the new regime, kind of like, I'm the friendly mage that helped you overthrow the terrible mageocracy, you know, like me, and make me your vizier or something. You know, whatever reason he has, or maybe he's just like doesn't like what the situation going on. So you got this like inside man that tells you what you need to do to get the job done. All you have to do is hit it with this like special hammer, like it's designed to shatter things. So like, you know, like a sledge maul or some kind of minor thing. I don't know what it is, but whatever you say, it's like something that's going to smash crystal. You don't roll or nothing. You just have to hit the crystal. The problem is once you're in the Archmage's understanding, like you're within his room, he's going to stop you. So he's going to do things like make walls of air, like, so it'd be a challenge thing. And all you have to do is figure out how to get past the challenge to get to the crystal pillar. He's not just going to like just blow you up. He's going to do things like try and push you off of the tower with a wall of air or like something like that. And you have to figure out how, I don't know, maybe rolling a boulder helps you get behind it and get, you know, different like kind of like mini games to break each one of these crystals. And that's what I would say. Like the cinematic part is you've got all this stuff going on and you have to think your way through to get to the individual pieces rather than saying, well, I go up and hit him, you know, for the next 10 rounds while he kills my party. So I would think like something like that would be cooler than just like slogfesting.
so you guys are on the right path. You're almost there, but this is how it really happens.
Oh, okay, well.
So, all right. So, okay, basically, I'm thinking almost like a Conan style, where it is, you know, it is a force,
Yeah,
but
that
maybe
is the
not
Conan feel, isn't it?
not maybe as large an army. And what they realize is there's only one point when this Archmage is actually vulnerable. That is during his annual sacrifice to the demon to sustain his life. So they kind of have to like sneak into this amphitheater where the sacrifice is held. And I'm almost seeing, because it's a college, right, of mages, so I'm seeing like the big amphitheater room with all the mages in the stadiums and doing the chanting and stuff, while on the stage on the podium dais is the Archmage over the sacrifice performing the ritual. He can't actually take part in the battle because he's locked in the ritual. And you know, so then the players and their force have to get past everything into this amphitheater, which is where they'll encounter all the mages, underlings, and Eldritch Knight Wights. And so like these battles are going on, and there's a time limit because they have to stop the ritual. Right. And I would think that the actual objective isn't actually to kill him, but to disrupt the ritual. And when he does that, maybe the demon reaches forth from the underworld and takes back all the stolen life that this Archmage has been accumulating, and it's been sustaining him. And so like they don't directly defeat him, but they defeat him by breaking it up. And you know, perhaps create a powerful enemy with this demon at the same time, but because you know they ruined his vassal on the prime material plane, causing him to fail, which he's going to want to take out on them later as well.
Oh, of course.
But in the meantime, like you have these running battles all through the amphitheater as they're trying to get to the dais. You could have pillars and columns to make it interesting, braziers. You have mages and these Eldritch Knight Wights leaping out of the stands, the charge the players. So that's kind of like my idea, going off of what he's already said. You know, make sure there's like you know, all along the walls, make sure there's plenty of like wall hangings and stuff for the players to use. And if they don't use them, have the NPCs use them.
Right.
You know, have them swing from them. You know, have an Eldritch Knight White kick over braziers at people. You know, do interesting things with the battle, so that the players know that they can as well.
Right.
If they're not already doing that.
They live in a 3D environment. You know, let them use it.
Exactly. That's exactly what you want to do. So, you know, that's my idea. And
What do you guys think? You have any other suggestions for Krugdar? Go ahead and put it in the comments below. While you're doing that, feel free to click like, share, even subscribe.
And after that, why don't you head over to nerdarchy.com, where you can find Nerdarchy the store.
You can also tweet at us on Twitter.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.